The Spartan front bumper by Rugged Ridge will be the solution to the boring stock front bumper on the JK Wrangler, and it will give you options including tabs for extra lighting, a winch plate, and D-ring mounts for solid recovery. This will also provide full front end protection with the overrider or bull bar to protect your grille, and high clearance ends reaching across the whole front end. With this bumper, you will be able to keep your factory fog lights, and it's going to give your front end of your 07 to 18 JK or JL an aggressive appearance. Since it's completely bolt-on, this will get a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and I will show you how to bolt that up in just a minute. Like I mentioned, this will provide a lot more protection to the front end of your Wrangler because of its length and full metal build. This is heavy-duty plated steel with a 2-stage textured black powder coat finish that will resist any rusting and stand up to years of road salt. The full-length bumper will provide the protection to your front end of your tires without compromising any clearance for better approach angles on the trail. Although the actual D-rings are not included with this bumper, it does come with 2 mounting points to help aid in recovery situations, and the bumper will bolt right into place and accept the factory OEM fog lights. At the moment, this bumper runs roughly $360, which is a pretty average price for a full-length front bumper. This bumper is a lot tougher and definitely a lot more versatile than your factory bumper and even some of the other options that we offer here on the site, so I can see this being a great investment that will definitely hold up over time. Not to mention, Rugged Ridge provides a 5-year limited warranty to give you a little bit of peace of mind. Like I mentioned before, this is completely bolt-on, so it gets a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and now we can head over to the Jeep and I'll show you how to bolt this thing up.
The tools that we use for this install are needle nose pliers, a Phillips head screwdriver, a 3/8 inch ratchet, a 1/4 inch ratchet, an 18mm wrench, a 7mm wrench, the provided Allen key or a 3/16 Allen socket, an 18mm deep socket, a 19mm deep socket, a 16mm socket, and an extension.
Now that we're over at the Jeep, we can go ahead and get started on our install, but first we have to take our stock bumper off. So the stock bumper is held in by 8 studs and 8 18mm nuts. We're going to go ahead and take those off so we can fully remove the bumper. So you're going to have 2 studs holding this bumper on the outside, and then again on the inside on both sides. We're going to take an 18mm deep socket, an extension, and a ratchet to get these off. Now you can move to the other side. Once all of the 8 nuts are removed and the fog lights are disconnected, we can remove our stock bumper. So before we install our new bumper on our JK, we have to transfer over our stock fog lights over to our new bumper. You can grab a Phillips head screwdriver, and there should be 4 screws holding each fog light in. After those screws are out, you can completely take out your fog light. So now we're ready to install our stock lights. So you can take your bulb and the provided hardware. It's going to be a Phillips head screw and a 7mm bolt. You can place that in. So you can insert your screw and take your lock nut. And you can set it on the other side. Then you can take your 7mm wrench or any adjustable wrench that will fit down in there and tighten that down. You can leave that loose and go ahead and insert all of the rest of the screws so you make sure everything lines up correctly. If you have a 2012 or newer JK, you will have a vacuum pump located right in the front. So in order to fit our winch plate on, you will have to relocate it. We do offer relocation brackets on the site, and Rugged Ridge does offer relocation instructions in their printed instructions that come in the box. We have an 07 to 11 JK here, so we won't need to do that, so we can go ahead and mount up our winch plate. So now we can install our winch plate. Now, these two outer top tabs are going to mount to the top of our frame. It is going to be hard to maneuver this in, but with a little bit of patience, we should be okay. I'm going to show you how I maneuvered it in with these two brackets that have to be behind the front, and then you can go over the top and slide those on. So we can leave this here right now. We can grab our nut plate that we can insert inside of the frame to hold this up. Now you can take the provided nut plate and the bolt for the winch plate and insert that inside the frame. And you will be able to access that bolt while it's sitting in the frame. Might be helpful for an extra set of hands. So in order to hold this still, I don't have an extra set of hands right now, so I'm just going to put a bolt there to hold it in place. So while you're reaching the nut plate inside of the frame, it may be easier to grab a pair of needle nose pliers just so you have a little bit of extra leverage. Once you get that threaded in, you can just snug it down and move on to the next one. And we can tighten down everything at the end. So now we can go ahead and mount up our bumper. So you can place the bumper on. It's going to rest on the winch plate. So now we can sandwich our D-ring mount onto the bumper with our provided hardware. On the outside, you're going to use the provided washer and the lock nut. Now you can insert the bolts without the nuts
into the innermost portion. You may have to move the winch plate around in order to fit them through.
Now we can tighten down our bolts with an 18mm wrench and a 19mm socket. Now tighten down the other side. Now we can install the nut plate on the other side of these two inner bolts. Now we can take our provided hardware and secure our bumper to our winch plate. You can either use the provided Allen key, or I have a 3/16 Allen key socket. Now we can attach our overrider bar. We're going to place it on the bumper on the 3 provided holes here and take our nut plate and put it under the under portion of those 3 holes and fasten it down with the provided hardware. This is going to be the same hardware that we used to attach the bumper to the winch plate. It's going to be a 3/16 Allen key, or you can use the provided Allen key. Now we can repeat it on the other side. Once you get one on, it'll be easy to line the other 2 up. After everything's aligned, you can go ahead and tighten them down. After all your bolts are tightened down, then you're all set. That's it for my review and install on the Rugged Ridge Spartan front bumper with high clearance ends and overrider. For more videos like this, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.